is the Super Dave Special Review. Super Dave here with episode 42 of Figures, Playsets, and Accessories that may work well with Masterverse and Classics. That's right, episode 42 of FPAs, and we're excited to do one figure and two somewhat accessories today. And that would be, first of all, Figma's Good Smile Company number 26, Link Tears of the Kingdom figure. Just take a look at him with all those accessories. And this is not the deluxe version. There is a deluxe version that's like $170 that comes with even a lot more stuff. But I just wanted the basic character here, but he comes with a lot of stuff too. Look at those awesome poses and shows all of these accessories do come with him. But he is looking awesome. I just think this particular Link looks really neat. I'm kind of partial to the original as well, which we will compare in comparisons to that one. But I just thought this one's cool. And another cool thing about this one is he's taller. He's bigger. He's a little bit bigger scale in 1/12 than the one that we got last time that is more in the green and brown pants, green outfit type look, which, like I said, we'll do some comparisons, but that's looking cool. It's got another picture of him up here on the top in a running pose, as the same one on the bottom here. So we're going to go ahead and look at him in just a minute. But first, another accessory that may work well with our Masters of the Universe is this Fish Toys horse. And man, is it cool. It actually has like a real fur type, not real fur, but real type looking hair, mane and tail. And this is, and I did get the white version, but this one is the brown version, as I would call a Clydesdale, because he's got the furry feet, you know, around the hooves down here, but the long tail, just a big horse, fully articulated in 1/12 scale. I'm interested to see who this figure fits in with. Will he fit Masterverse He-Man? Will he fit our Frazetta Girls Norseman? Will he fit this new Link? Will he fit, you know, what kind of figures will this guy fit? We're going to check that out today. And then finally, by Rabbit Toys, I just thought this was a cool idea to go along with our Link, and that is our Mimic Chest, the Fantasy Bones Mimic Chest Monster. Just look at this. You know how many chests that Link has to open up on his quests. Well, this chest, it can just be a regular chest, but then it can come to life and become a monster. And I just thought this would be so cool to go along with Link, but also our Masters of the Universe. And so we're going to be taking a look at this Mimic Chest here also as a bonus. There it is, all closed up as just a chest. Isn't that wild? Isn't that neat? I just thought that was so cool. So we're going to take a look at this at the end. So come on for the ride as we look at episode 42 of Figures, Playsets, and Accessories that work with Masterverse and Classics. And here we are in the evergreen forest, just outside a little ways from Castle Grayskull, where some of our Eternian allies have come together to meet Link from the Tears of the Kingdom. And we're first going to take a look at his accessories. Our Link is looking really good here from head to toe, looking really sharp. And this is the first faceplate that he comes with. This is more of a stoic, almost frown type face, a little bit of a serious face. Then he comes with a faceplate that is more of an action face, yelling face, and then also with a smiling, more of a calm smiling face plate that can be snapped onto this head. So looking really layered and looking just really authentic, looking very sharp. Figma knocked this out of the park, and I like the height on this fella too. He comes with two sets of hands, comes with a weapon holding hand and an open palm hand with flesh and the leather glove portion, and then a balled up fisted hand over here that is also the leather with a little bit of flesh showing. And then the right side has more of a mechanical hand look and has like the green and light brown and gray, and then also comes with a weapon holding hand that is in that style as well. So it's basically two sets of hands, one for the right, one for the left, and then that balled up fisted hand as a bonus there. And then you see these bomb things, I believe, that are attached to his side, as well as if we turn him around, you can see his quill that comes attached to him that holds his arrows, which look really authentic, little pouches and different things that are attached to this belt. It almost looks like those are bullets over here on the side that are attached there instead of bombs, but I can't remember because I've played the game, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've played, so I can't give you the exact name of everything. And then here is his iconic shield, which is so cool. Awesome looking shield. Always love that. And then he comes with his sword, and we'll show you that out of the sheath there, but there's a sword and sheath, and that is two pieces. And then a type shawl and like scarf type thing around his neck that also has a cape or a shawl that can be thrown around his shoulder, and we'll take a look at him equipped with that as well. And we showed you, as usual, the Figma little stand that is able to allow you to attach the hands, and he comes with an action stand, a clear Figma action stand. You can peg that in to any of the holes on the base, so that is really cool. And he also comes over here with a little peg, the clear one, that allows you to attach it to the shield, to also attach it to his back, and then some extra little hinged pegs, a brown and a gray, in case one breaks for his hands or his neck, or legs or feet, I should say. So that's always cool. That is all of his accessories. Now let's take a closer look at our link right now. All right, let's move our link on in here a little bit closer, and let's adjust the lighting. But you can see that I did put the sword sheath on his back. It pegs right on in there really nicely, as you can see. And there's two holes. There's one which I'm assuming is more for the stand, for the action poses, and then one for the sword. Now, that piece that I was telling you about is right here. And what that would allow you to do, is slide your sheath, maybe up here. Yeah, there it is. It plugs in right there. And you can slide a little bit. There we go. And then when you have your sword in place, oops, bend it the other way. By the way, this ponytail also lifts up out of the way, so that's kind of neat. But that will allow you to plug the shield in place here. Now, the way I was able to get, let me go ahead and show you this first. The sword in this hand, you don't have to heat up these hands like you would normally do figures. You're able to take the sword apart, which we've seen this with Figma before, and then just slide the handle up inside of his hand and plug it directly in as like so, and it plugs in really well. But there is the sword. You can get a really nice look at that, looking really cool. That blue tint to the blade, a nice shiny blade, and as we saw, it will slide right in there, a nice snug fit. Same deal with the shield. You have the ability to take the handle apart to slide up inside of the hand, so you can just pop that hand off there, and you can see the back of the shield. You have two segments here, and that's what we're going to be using to put it on his back. Because let's go ahead and take this handle off. It unplugs from here, And then this handle, in case you want it on the left or right hand, could be plugged on this side or on this side. Either way. See, there's the hand, and you could either have it being held left-handed or right-handed. You just have to change this hand. But then this also unplugs, as you see there, and it fell, but it is able to slide right up inside of the hand, as you can see, and then plug this right back into place there, and then put it wherever you need it. And in this case, we would need it on this side. So you just line them up to the corresponding holes, and there you have it. And then this is the one that just kind of wraps around his forearm, which would go right there. Then you just plug his hand back on. So you just work with that as best you can. But what we're going to do now is remove both the handle and the strap and try to plug this directly onto the back. Now you see those two holes there that are horizontal. That's where you're going to plug it into this piece that snaps onto the sword sheath. And voila! Now you have the shield, sword, and sheath, and the quill with the arrows and the bullets and everything equipped on your link. Let's go ahead and put his hand back on here. All right, so got his hand back on, and now let's look at the face plates, how to replace them. So what I'm going to do, because there's so much going on here with articulation, I'm just going to pop that head off. You can see that it will pop right out of that peg there, which is nice. I'm going to set that body off to the side, and we're going to figure this out together. So it looks like it breaks apart along the hairline right here. So let's go ahead and work that loose. Yep, it pops out right there, that big chunk of hair on the front. And we'll go ahead and remove this face plate. And we will plug in the yelling action type face plate. It plugs in below there so everything fits nicely. And then let's plug back in the hair piece. Get everything straight, and there you have the yelling head. Like I said, that ponytail little thing will move around, but that's looking cool, looking really good. That's a very white face. I might could dim it just a little bit more so you could see. There you go, more of the flesh tones. Really nice detail, that open mouth. You can see the tongue, the teeth, the eyes are looking upwards. So while we've got that off, let's go ahead and spin him around here and remove the sword and shield, which are still connected here because of that little plastic piece, as you can see, which is really handy. Set that back here. And now let's go ahead and equip the cape. And if you see here, it has a piece that goes around the neck, and then you plug that peg directly into like where we had the sword plugged into. So let's go ahead and get that plugged in. And then technically you could still plug the sword in, it looks like, because it creates another hole. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at what he looks like with his cloak on. And there you have it. Looking really cool. I want to go ahead and put the other face where he's smiling on there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove, and that's the hardest part about the head. Matter of fact, I'll take it back off the body again. And that's the hardest part about these face plates, is getting the hair off. It is really snug. And then it's going to fly off somewhere. But I'm going to go ahead and unplug the yelling face. I'm going to go ahead and plug the smiling face in here on the lower level, and then go ahead and plug this hair piece back into place, which fits in very snugly. And look, When you do that, as I showed you, you can't even see the seam at all hardly. A little bit right there, I guess enough to get your fingernail involved, but looks really seamless, looks really good. Okay, head back in there, and now let's look at him with that cloak on. Looking really cool. I love the way that cloak looks on him. Looking really stellar. Again, you can see a little pouch back here and all the belt work. This is kind of hangs down. And it looks like you can detach the quill from his belt, but I don't want to do that right yet. But what I do want to do is see if the sword and the sheath will fit along with, oh wow, see, it's don't have a hole there, so I'm not getting that part exactly unless we take the shield off. Let's try that. Just gonna see how it works if you just take the shield off. I mean, that might be okay. Leave that up to you, but I don't like it very good. It still messes with it. See, it's gonna cock out, and that may be so that you can I don't know, that does turn some, so maybe, let's see, I don't know, still not sure about that. You can still have it on there if you want to, so there are options, I'll put it that way. All right, now let's do his articulation. All right, taking a look at our link here, we're gonna first of all see that he's able to look up all the way, looking really good. Man, that is just fabulous how much he can look up. That is looking really good, looking stellar. I mean, you can't complain with that at all. He could you know, do all kinds of cool poses. I mean, that's really cool. And then he'll be able to look down all the way, looking really cool there. Isn't that neat? And of course, he's going to be able to get excellent pivot and look side to side. He'll be able to look all the way around, really. And like I was showing you earlier, this ponytail will be able to lift up and down. It doesn't turn, I don't think. Yeah, it does. It does rotate. I'm sorry. It'll rotate and go up and down. So it moves out of the way very fluidly. And if we were to take this off and look at it, there is a ball peg at the base of the neck there. There's a ball peg going up inside of the face head part. Plus, when you plug this down in here, it's going to move freely up inside of there also. So that is just really stellar, I think, overall for articulation for the head and neck. I really like that. So bravo, bravo, bravo. And when you plug that in there and you get it back where you want it, that's where I was saying you can definitely get some expressions going on. Really good there. All right, now moving on to the arms, you are going to be able to get full 360. You're just going to have to kind of work at it really well because there's so much going on here. You've got this shoulder pad piece that is on a floating little tab. You can see it'll go back and forth and it moves with the arm because this arm has like a rotation piece going on up inside of there. It does kind of hit the head when you're going up, so you can't get a full T-pose on that side, but you can on this side. One thing that I already noticed, I'm checking, yeah, it is. There is a bicep swivel. It's just really tight. I didn't think that there was, and that's going to help because I was trying to move it, and I thought maybe when I was doing that, like I was showing you with the face, that it wouldn't turn, but it actually will. So if he's looking up and you want to get his face up there so he's looking it will work by twisting. The shoulder joint kind of rotates in and out like a bicep swivel, but also there is a swivel up in this cuff. See, there's that chainmail, there's his sleeve, there's his arm, there's his elbow, and you see it's a double jointed elbow, so he gets really good range, better than 90, and that's going to rotate. And it also has a butterfly joint. I'll show you on this side because you can really see it good over here. Watch how that motions forward, and it'll go back down inside the body, then it'll come out a really good amount. So that's going to allow you to really cross over. If I can turn that elbow, you can see he's able to cross all the way over to his other side, across his body. So really good. And these pegs are really fragile with Figma, so you're gonna have to watch how you bend it and just kind of be easy as you're bending, just kind of experiment as you go. But yeah, this has a double jointed elbow system there, and it is limited on this side because of that thick gauntlet, but it will go all the way to there. So that's good. And this is soft. This will bend out of the way. I forgot to mention that, but it's not necessarily an articulation. All right, let's go ahead and bend these arms outward like so, kind of out of the way, and show you that he's got a diaphragm and a waist. Well, he's got actually two. He's got kind of like a chest cut and I'd say mid belly cut plus the waist, because he can turn with the waist, but he can also bend at the chest about that much, and then bend at that second bend a little bit further. And I don't think, yeah, you can't really get the waist in there without popping it loose. And then let's set him back up here. He's not going to be able to bend back much with the chest or with the second break there, but that's as far back as he'll bend. But he will be able to get some side to side motion. It does pop the peg out if you go too far, but he will get some side to side motion like so from that diaphragm, as you can see. And he can turn there, he can turn there, and he can turn at the waist some. Not a whole lot, but he will be able to turn some at the waist. All right, moving on to these legs. Go ahead and show you. Oop, and it fell off there. Because all of that, when you do the split, as you can see, it pushes everything up, even though it will split forward here. Go ahead and get that back into place. As you can see, it will split forward. It will push everything down if you do the splits. You can get the splits because there is a break in the skirt area, but just be careful because when you do that, it's pushing everything up and it can make that peg pop out. But yeah, he pretty much can get the splits, as you can see. And he also has the drop down method. You can see there that does drop down, so he's going to be able to get up a really good amount there. And he has double jointed knees, which is going to allow him to kick all the way and kick his own behind there. There is a little bit of rotation in that thigh with that drop down method. Trying to see if we have any boot cut. I don't think we do. Nope, we don't have a boot cut that I can tell. Yeah, we don't have a boot cut. Nice fluid knee joint, and then that foot is going to go all the way tiptoes and go up all the way, as well as a tiptoe joint as well. And of course, because of that forward facing pin, you are going to be able to get some nice pivot on those ankle rockers, but no peg hole in the bottom, which is unfortunate, because sometimes these characters are hard to stand, and a peg hole would go a long ways in helping with that. But anyway, wow, a lot of articulation. This moves out of the way. All these clothes, you just kind of have to bunch them up. But one of the things Figma does well with all this articulation is they are able to hide it really well. So I appreciate that. The only thing that I forgot to mention is because these are on a ball peg, you're going to be able to basically hinge and rotate your hand whichever direction you have that ball peg. So if you've got it that way, you're going to be able to do the hand horizontal. If you twist it downward, you'll be able to do the hand, as you'll see here, you'll be able to do the hand vertical. So it all depends on which way you have that ball joint. And so that is excellent. But that is all of his articulation. Now let's go take a look our horse and see what kind of articulation he has. And here's our fish toy Clydesdale style horse, fully articulated, 1/12 scale. Let's just give it a spin. Look at this real type mane fur going on right there, looking so cool. Look at the veins and the musculature and the legs. You see it's not real fur down here, but it has the furry hoof type area, has this really nice flowing tail with real fur, and that is a bendy tail. It's a wire on the inside to allow you to bend that tail any direction that you would like. Just looking so cool. You can see the little tent type, knapsack type, sleeping bag, blanket, whatever you want to call it there, attached to the saddle. A really nice detailed leather looking saddle, thick looking saddle wrapping around there, but not too thick, looking good. Even has this nice little part that goes around hiding that articulation point, which I appreciate. That it's looking good. Even's got the bridle around the face, looking really stellar. Some cool looking eyes. The one complaint that I have with this horse is I do wish that they had made the mouth articulated. I feel like that they missed on that. I feel like they could have done that very simply, and that would have added a lot. You can see the stirrups here for the feet of whoever you have riding him. And but yeah, just looking really, really cool. Give him one more spin here. And this tail will pop out so that you can bend it and maneuver it or fluff it. To fluff it or brush it or comb it however you want to. And again, you can see the details in the skin and the veins throughout. Just look at that, looking stellar, looking really good. The bends in the neck, the musculature, very authentic looking, really nice for this Clydesdale looking horse. All right, let's go ahead and look at his articulation. And you can see here that everybody is kind of anxious and excited to try out this horse, to ride it. But before we get to riding it, I want us to look at his articulation because it's really impressive. You're going to be able to look up a really good amount there. That hair that comes off to the side's really neat. But he's going to be able to look down. That hair is just going to keep blowing up, isn't it? He's going to be able to look down a really good amount. He's also going to be able to turn his head to the left, turn his head to the right, and even more so using the neck joint. Need to really brush that hair. I did the best I could with my fingers. I have to find a small brush. I need a doll brush, but I don't have one. But yeah, you can see, if I can hold it, that there's a bend, there's a softness to that, and you're going to be able to bend that head in a, just crazy amount. It bends, there's a joint up in the neck, so you're going to be able to bend it very realistically. Very realistically. That's just super. This is like in scale of like your, I'm thinking of Storm Collectibles, where you've got that softness to their chest, on a chest of their action figures, so that you're able to maneuver and get a little bit more range. And so that's what this reminds me of. And that's going to also allow you to bend down a little bit further as well. And and also rather, I'm messing up the hair again, but bend up a little bit. So he's going to be able to look up even further using that bendable part. That's just really amazing. So it's going to go like that. It's going to be able to twist a little bit. And this head just has really good articulation. I'm just amazed at that. And then you've got a section here in the back and shoulders, I'll call it, where he's going to be able to go side to side as well, and even shift up and down a little bit from this break. And then there's another one back here that's going to allow him to shift side to side slightly, but then also shift up and down. So side to side and up and down on this back section and in this front section. Really able to bend. So you're going to be able to bend them together about that much and then bend them away about that much. So you're going to be able to go back and forth using both of those, which is really stellar. Going on to these front legs, he's going to be able to bend that one forward about that much. He's going to be able to bend back about that much. Let's go ahead and bend these back up and show you the knee is going to be able to bend that much. There's also a little bit of rotation there. The hoof has a 2-segment section there. You have a kind of a hinge up inside of here and a hinge up inside of there. So you have 2 hinges making up that foot, which is excellent. And again, that's gonna give a little bit there, but just look at the realism of the hooves there, which is really cool. It's gonna be able to bend all the way, go down like that, bend back. So yeah, you're gonna get some, I mean, just endless possibilities as far as the amount of articulation that you have with this guy. All right, let's go ahead and look at the back here. I'm going to move the tail just for a moment. He's going to be able to spread apart about that much, go in about that much. It's going to be able to kick really all the way around. Of course, you won't need to do that. You're going to be able to bend at that thigh part all the way back about that far. You see the joint there? Then bend it forward about that far. You see the joint popping out there. It's a little bit of swivel there. Got another knee joint coming about that far. Knee joint going all the way straight. And then again, you have 2 hinges. One up here in this first section, as well as in the hoof section. So that's looking really cool there. Excellent articulation. Again, that's going to be able to kick way far back and go way far forward, as well as being able to bend that hip section and the knee section, and even get that part bent forward like that. If we go ahead and put the tail back into place there, it's kind of getting frizzy right there where my hand was sweaty, but you're going to be able to bend the tail any way that you want to, or bend it to the side. Let me comb it down a little bit, or bend it away like that, or even have it going all the way up so he can poopy. So you're going to have the ability to get that tail just looking amazing. It's going to be able to look just really cool. And this hair is definitely needing some help. I need a little doll brush or something, comb. Might just go get one of my combs for now, but that's looking so cool. There's a little place for a weapon. There's the stirrups. And this is removable, which I don't want to remove it because a lot of times when you remove the saddle, it's harder to get on. But that's all of his articulation that I can tell, which is already tremendous amount. There's no articulation at the ears, but be careful, those ears are really sharp. Just about cut myself on that ear. And but yes, excellent articulation. Those feet do kind of move in a little bit too on the front. It's just amazing to me how that is, and oh yeah, and that rotates. I forgot to mention that. Those hoof feet area rotate. So you're definitely going to be able to get pivot. See, it has pivot as well. I just keep finding stuff on this guy. This is real soft down here. So this hair is going to move out of the way and you're going to be able to do a lot with the feet. Let me show you this one as well. Yep, you got feet pivot back here also. So not only does it move really nicely to position so you can get flat-footed no matter what kind of pose you want, but it also rotates there, and you get the ankle pivot or hoof pivot in this case. All right, now let's do some comparisons. Here is our Jakks Pacific Tears of the Kingdom link, and he is a pretty nice figure, but you see how short he is, very tiny compared to 1/12. And I think this is more of a 1/12 scale because Link is a short character. He's not tall, but this one's definitely has a lot more detail, a lot more quality, a lot more of a matte finish, a lot more accessorizing with the look of the hands and the belts, even the chainmail coming out from around his skirt down here and around his sleeve, even his face just looking a lot smoother and more detailed. This has a shine to it, less detail. He just came with a little broadsword, this Jakks Pacific, but he was really nice. I've enjoyed having him riding one of my Figma horses because he fits those tiny Figma horses very well. But we're getting ready to see if this dude will fit on our Fish Toys horse here in just a moment. And then this was our link that we got from Figma originally, or that I did. I mean, they've released several, but this is my main link that I've used. And wow, I mean, he's just looking awesome. I like him. I used him with pictures with my MOTU Classics and Masterverse figures, but I have to say I really like the Tears of the Kingdom version the best. I like this blue, I like his features and his height. I mean, he's got a good, let's see his height right quick. Yeah, this new Link is exactly 6 inches tall. 6 inches. And this other Link was basically 5 1/4. 5 1/4 if you look at it dead on to his head there. 5 1/4 and 6 inches. So yeah, this one is definitely, you know, excelling on the size section in my opinion, far as we compare. So let's go ahead and look at him with some other figures. And here is our Link Tears of the Kingdom by Figma next to a Frazetta Girls Norseman, which I really like him. And you see he is in that 6.5 scale next to, and of course a little taller with the helmet. If you take the helmet off, yeah, 6.5 basically scale of size figure. Almost classic size. We'll look at that in just a moment. Next to our Masterverse He-Man, this is our Masters of the Universe Masterverse Revolution He-Man with a Hordak MX Mundo style custom head. And I just think that this Link, I mean, I enjoyed pairing this Link alongside He-Man, almost like as a little kid or just a small version of Link, a character that's short, an elf type character if you will. But I like the size of this even better next to He-Man because the face and head and just the overall form and features look a little bit more in scale. His head and face and hands, everything just a little bit more in scale with him, I think, than even this one. But I still like this one as well, but I think I like this one even better fitting in with my He-Man and Masters of the Universe. All right, here is our Link riding the Fish Toys version of a horse. And then here is our Norseman riding our Mythic Legion's brown horse. And you can definitely see the difference. I mean, the Mythic Legions, I think, looks more realistic in the face. They did a better job with this head sculpt overall in some respects. But as far as the body and the look of the articulation, even though there's a little bit of a shine to this, and I may be able to fix that with a matte spray eventually. I'm not sure whether I want to go that route, but just the realism of that tail and that mane and even the bridles and things, I don't know, they both did an excellent job. I can't really say one is better than the other. Really, I mean, it's hard to, I'll just say that. I feel like that both characters fit well on their perspective horses. I don't think either of the saddles are any better than the next. You know, it just is going to end up being your preference on these horses, but Link sat in this very well. His legs are not quite long enough to get in the stirrup, and unfortunately, whereas the Mythic Legion stirrup is adjustable a little bit as far as where you put it, I believe, this one's not. I don't see any way of adjusting the, I mean, there's definitely more realism to this stirrup, but his legs just won't quite fit there. Now, again, it's up to you which mane you like. This mane looks really good, even though it's just plastic. And the way it does in the front there with the hair looks really authentic. Whereas this one, and I'm sure you can play around with a little bit more, but this, you know, little piece of front hair and then the mane, it just looks so realistic, but it's hard to tame it. So you're gonna definitely have to get out a little doll brush or something and do a little bit of work to it. And I will say, I think the shine takes away a little bit from it, but it may just be because I have it under such bright lights. Whereas this one, even under the bright lights, it doesn't reflect off of it, and it gives that one just a little bit more of a realism in the photo. Whereas that one looks a little bit more of a toy because of the shine. You see what I'm saying? Either that or this horse has just been running a really high rate of speed and is sweating. And wow, just look at that. That is so cool. Just look at Link. And that horse is able to bend it. I mean, the articulation of the neck of this horse is just 10 times better than what the Mythic Legion horse is. I mean, you're definitely going to get better poses and realism, and just seamless too. You can't hardly even see any breaks. And that rubber style neck that has joints up in it, like vertebrae type joints up inside of it. I'm not sure exactly how many. If I had to guess, I'd say 2, but it may even be 3 joints. It's hard to tell because they're covered up, but you can see here Link is just, you know, giving him a sugar cube and holding his rein with the other hand and looking up at him, and that's just looking so cool. And He-Man fits on him perfect. This Masterverse He-Man sits on him perfectly. I mean, his feet go in the stirrups perfect. He sits in the saddle perfect. He sits down in there, and I mean, it's just superb, looking just absolutely excellent. So cool, so nice here. And here is a Mythic Legion gray and black horse with Andrea riding him. You can see very similar to the brown horse that we just showed you, except this is more of a Clydesdale because it has furry hooves areas, kind of like this one. But this one just has the ability to pose so well. Just look at the realism of that hair over his face, like, you know, you would see on a real horse. And He-Man riding it, it's just really looking stellar in my opinion. I just think that this looks so nice, so cool, looking so good here. Battle Cat better watch out, right? Because I think He-Man's enjoying this. But yeah, looking really good here. And Red Sonya is also looking really good, sitting atop of this horse, looking really, really neat. He-Man's petting him. That's looking really good. For our bonus today, we're going to take a look at the Fantasy Bones Mimic Chest. Oh no, watch out, Link! Pum pum. Pum pum. Dun dun. He-Man. Watch out! Ah! Oh man, He-Man isn't even sure what to do about this creature. Good gracious, he's eating Link alive! Oh no, it looks like he ate Link and is now licking his chops, ready to eat He-Man. Oh no! Shing, shing. All right, to take a quick look at this Fantasy Bones Mimic Chest Monster, Treasure Chest Monster. He is just awesomely detailed and painted. They just did a phenomenal job. You can see here he comes with 2 sets of hands, these weapon holding hands, and they've got a ball hinge, so you can do vertical or horizontal hinge based on how you detail it, and a little bit more of a closed weapon holding hand I've got equipped for the shield and the axe that he comes with. And of course you can open this up, and there's a ball joint here, and this tongue is removable, so it just pops off of that ball joint there. And then you can close the chest completely like so, seal the teeth together. It has like a keyhole with a locking mechanism. Even looks like there's kind of an eye right here, kind of carved into the wood. A lot of detail to this wood, just like it's, you know, real with the grains that you can see. And of course you can pop this part out, and you can put either the arms under here or just one leg under there, as you saw in the animated in the box art. You could put one foot under there and have him hopping, or you know, whatever. These also are detachable, and so that allows you to take these 2 little metal pieces that it comes with. They're not real metal, but they're designed to look metal. And they are hinged, so you can bend it there, as you see, but you can put them right up in there. And what that allows you to do is just have a chest, make it look like a chest with teeth. I do wish they had made it where you could pop the teeth out, like a section that just the form molded, where you could pop that out and attach it and reattach it up in there, so that it looked authentically like a chest without teeth. But I still like it because it's, you know, looks like you could just set it off to the side like a chest, and then it comes to life. Rah! So now I want to show you the articulation very quickly with everything together. All right, so as we've shown you, you can move and open the mouth about that much, open the chest, and it'll even turn because it's on that ball joint. So I don't know what the purpose of that would be, but you could definitely close it all the way and open it all the way. And of course you can turn side to side with that, and you have a ball hinge going up inside of the bottom, so he's going to be able to look down that much, he's going to be able to look up that much, and you see his little short little vertebrae section, and then your pelvis section, and the legs go up in there. So he's going to be able to turn side to side. You'll be able to get full 360 with those arms. There is a bicep swivel as far as this part of the bone, and then a single jointed elbow that is just as well to be a double, because you can get really good range all the way up to there. And as I said, you can do vertical hinge or horizontal hinge depending on where you've got that ball joint direction. And so he's going to be able to get better than a T pose. He's going to be able to go to Y or a T. He's going to be able to go any direction on those shoulder type motion there. And there's also a swivel at the elbow. So you get plenty of range with those arms on both sides. And it's pretty much the same with the legs, except they're on a ball joint. So you're not really going to be able to get full splits. It hits right here, and you don't want to pop it out. But it's going to be able to kick up all the way. It's going to be able to kick back all the way like so. You also have a single jointed knee, which gets as good a range as like a double joint. You can see how good it positions there. You can get a really good, and it's a swivel too at the knee, but you can get really good range there. And you know, the ball joint on that hip flexor type joint's going to allow you to get plenty of range there too. And then the foot, you're going to be able to get full tiptoes. You're going to be able to go up all the way. Literally, look, there's a peg hole in the bottom, and even rockers with that forward facing pin. So, I mean, you get great articulation with this guy. So cool. And like I said, there's just all kinds of things that you can do. Here's some assembly instructions for the Mimic chest that shows you how to do everything as we were expressing there. See, there it is without the pelvis. I just couldn't get mine to pop out just right without messing up something, I felt like, because it just didn't want to break anything. And there's some other, it shows put the hands inside the mouth, it looks like. Interesting. Or you can put the legs on the sides to make it look like it's crawling. So just a lot of different options is the basic story of this dude. A lot of different things you can do. So really cool. It'd be almost worth having a second one so you could have some of those parts loose so you wouldn't break something always trying to take it apart. I'm thinking may order me another one if they still have them on Big Bad Toy Store. But he's just so neat. Very cool. All right. But thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. We have had a blast looking at this Link, Tears of the Kingdom, this Mimic chest monster, and our Fish Toys horse with the real looking mane and tail with the awesome articulation. It's just been a blast. So please come back and see us again real soon. And sorry this one was so long, but we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. And you can check out my other reviews. Like, subscribe, and comment if you have something to share. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.